Hello, thank you for joining us for this episode of That Solo Life, the podcast for PR pros and marketers who work for themselves. People like me, Michelle Kane with Voice Matters, and my wonderful co-host, Karen Swim of Solo PR Pro. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hey, Michelle. I'm hanging in there. I can't believe this month is flying by.
It has flown by so quickly. This episode is hitting on Halloween itself. So, cue the spooky music. So we are going to talk about the tricks and treats of PR, or just what's going on out there in the business world in general. There's a lot of weird stuff happening this month. I don't know.
Weird stuff. It is appropriately Halloween month because I feel like there has been just really like scary things happening.
Yes.
Creepy things happening, and I don't know.
Things you can't explain.
And things we can that we are saying, not a good idea.
I guess we could start with one of the many painfully obvious ones. Looking at you, Kanye. Looking at you, Adidas, for taking a week. There's a head scratcher. For taking a week or more. I wasn't really counting, but, more than an hour is too long for calling out his anti-Semitism. Even, it took a lot of people shaking their tree to get them to disassociate from him. And it's just been, I don't know.
This is something that really could have been a treat with swifter response. And so I think we PR pros know how this goes down. Your company is in partnership with someone in some form or fashion that does something that is distasteful publicly. Do you stand by the person or do you disengage? And I think, for me, this all comes back to one of my core messages. You must, as a corporation, have an ethical foundation. That ethical foundation must be communicated throughout your entire organization. I don't care how big that organization is, but more importantly, it has to be lived. And I always say, it sounds like I'm a broken record, from the boardroom to the basement, your ethics have to be lived, and they should very much tie in with your mission, vision, and values. And so to me, when you know who you are as a company, and when everyone who works there knows who you are as a company, you immediately can spot something that is not aligned with who you are. And it makes those decisions a lot easier. This to me feels like a big corporation that had to do some number crunching, consult with their legal team to figure out, are they able to disengage from this? What can they do? But this is the opposite of crisis management, in my opinion. It wasn't managed very well.
No.
And when you take so long to make this decision, you damage your own credibility.
Totally. Yeah. And I love what you say. I love when you keep banging that drum, because it's a drum that needs to be banged, apparently. But it should be so intrinsic to you as a company that something like that, you shouldn't need to take time to consider it. Now, who knows? Maybe there were some legal angles, financial stuff, but even so, who cares? Make your statement and say, now we're going to do the untangling, but we're going to deal with this swiftly and strongly.
Yeah. So I feel like this was not at all received in the way that it could have been. And it just, quite frankly, was the wrong thing to do. You leave a whole entire, and let's be clear, in my view, this is not just about the Jewish community. It is about the human race, period. Because when we allow hatred against any group of people, we are saying that it's okay to pick and choose who you respect. It was disrespectful. I also have my own thoughts. I think now it does feel like a pile on of people saying, I'm going to do that too. Mm-hmm. And I do feel like we are shying away from the real issues that are here. And there's so many to unpack. So yeah, it is definitely October. And this is a boo to all of those corporations. And obviously to a human being that clearly is in need of some type of intervention, and different people around him and in his circle. But I don't even want to give airtime to anything that's not aligned with my values. And Michelle, I know you share this, that we firmly stand against hatred of all kinds, period.
Right. Yeah.
Don't like it, not down for it, not okay. Never okay.
It's never ever okay. There's no room for it.
Yeah.
We're all people. I mean, I know this garbage goes back centuries, but you would think as society moves on, we'd be better. I mean, I had someone correct me on Twitter of a phrase I used, and I didn't even realize that it was offensive. And I thought, oh my goodness! And I thanked them. I said, thank you. I can't do better unless I know better.
I completely agree. I know that some of the statements that were made, people were saying, that they never heard it. I had heard it for many, many years and knew that it's been offensive for many, many years.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that when these incidents happen, it is an opportunity for us to educate and for us to grow. And even as PR professionals, I can remember using a term once on Instagram about Netflix. And I didn't realize that it had sexual connotations because I can't know everything. And it was embarrassing. But somebody, was like, hey, I know that you didn't know this. Now, I will say that anybody who knows me for longer than 15 minutes probably knows that's not what I meant. And this, I think, is a lesson for all of us. This applies to companies too. Mm-hmm. When your audience knows who you are, they are able to draw a line between intention.
Right.
And I think that critical thinking is often missing in the times that we live in, but it's necessary. You have to have the context of something. People can genuinely make mistakes. They can say things and they're not seeking to offend anyone. They're using a phrase that they have no idea has a double meaning or has an offensive meaning. And I think that we can't immediately pull the cancel button on everyone, that we have to stop and we have to examine the context in which these actions or statements happen. We have to examine the person, who they are, and if this is aligned with who they normally are. And we have to willing to exercise forgiveness.
Right. I mean, this clearly, his track record shows this is not the first egregious statement he's made about people groups or commonly held truths about things. Big difference between that and someone who's, well-meaning and just using turns of phrase that are, in their experience was, you don't realize, oh gosh, no, I would never want to say that. So thank you for letting me know, kind of thing. And like you say, if you know the person, if you know the corporation, you know how they have lived out their values, then that also sets a certain expectation to act within them. But so yeah, that's one of our boo.
One of our boos. And I mean, I'm sorry for all of the PR people on every side of this who are having to manage and navigate your way through this. I think another boo for me is hardworking PR people who know the right things to do, who are trying to take all the right steps and are sometimes undermined by clients or the companies that they work for.
Oh, yes.
Boo to the people who won't let us be great.
Right. I know. How frustrating is it when you think you have everything spelled out, everyone has nodded yes, they've sent the emails of agreement of a way you're going to go about something, and then either excitement overtakes them of, oh, we're just going to do this here, and you think, no, that's not what we said.
Yes. This is one of the tricks that PR people do not love. Please don't undermine us in the jobs that we actually know how to do. And we all have heard those horror stories. We've heard horror stories of clients going, well, I'm just going to email that reporter and ask if, she could recognize, our employees because that's important to us. And you're going, you're going to do what now?
Yeah, no, please don't.
Yeah. Or, you know what? I'm going to say something. I know you told me not to, but I'm just, I think this is the right thing to do. And then we all know how these things turn out. So
we do.
That's not a treat for us. We don't need you to help us do our job. We just honestly need you to allow us to be the professionals that we are. We actually know this. We've dealt with this. We have a lot of experience. When we give you counsel, it really is coming from a place of wisdom and experience. Please
Yes.
trust us.
Yeah. It's like, I know you can buy things at the drugstore to, let's say, do your own dental work, but I don't do that because I realize my dentist probably knows better than I do. And I would create a bigger mess for my dentist to clean up. So just insert PR for dentist.
Yeah.
Move about your day. So,
Absolutely agree.
well, we need a treat, but I think I still have another trick. It seems like good old Elon is going to buy Twitter.
Oh,
So we'll see how that shakes out. It seems like, I don't know, you think people are starting to leave already. I know he said he was going to cut the workforce, but he also says he's going to do all sorts of great things. So how those two make sense together?
yeah.
What do I know?
From my understanding, this is going down in like 2 days. So trick or treat.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it's a trick or a treat when this deal is over and somebody else is in charge of the company. But my heart broke when you are going to be the new owner of a company and you're announcing in advance that you're going to cut 50% of the workforce. Now, I believe, and please, audience, fact check me on this. These numbers may not be accurate, but I believe that I read a story that said 30% of the people who have left the company have gone on to competitors. So they've moved over to Meta or to Google, to other companies, because people are leaving. And I suspect, and I believe the article alluded to this as well, that they're losing a lot of top performers because they're not going to let the grass grow under their feet.
Right.
When somebody new comes in, somebody who's already interrupted all of the strategic plans that they made for the coming year,
right,
and just wait around to get fired. They're going to go and take care of themselves. And does not mean that the people that are left are not valued, but those people, there's always employees that are hoping for the best. They have a loyalty to the company.
Right.
They are afraid to make a move. They think it's all going to work out well. Doesn't mean that you're a bad performer. That's not what I'm saying. But I am sure that in this first wave of exits that they have lost some very valuable people, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a period of disruption for the whole company and channel. So we'll just say, I don't know why he felt the need to do this during the World Series when I need Twitter to work properly. But whatever, go Phils.
Yeah. It's really interesting because Twitter has been one of my treats in 2022. It's been, I'm sure that our PR folks out there can relate that, I've been on all of the platforms since they started. And I cycled through my favorites, at one point in my life, Facebook was my happy place. And then at another point, Instagram. Remember when it was pretty pictures and you could just scroll. It was my happy place. Yeah. It was a place that I went to de-stress because I could just see photos that friends were sharing.
Right.
I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to. It was just easy and it was relaxing. And then it turned into something else. And this year, Twitter has truly been my happy place, in spite of what some people say, like, oh, Twitter. But it's been my happy place. Yeah. It's been a place where I find, a great group of PR people,
right?
And people that are part of community, where activists are there. It's just been a happy place. And now I am feeling very threatened that my happy place won't be my happy place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been my water cooler, and in communal moments or even, let's face it, news breaks on Twitter.
Totally.
You see it there.
Is even changing. That was kind of my other happy place for different reasons. And I just don't know where I'm going to go now. So
it's going to be interesting. So boo.
But, it could turn out to be a treat. Some people
could.
Sick, so we will keep our eyes on this one.
We'll have to wait and see. Yes, maybe it will turn into a treat. So, my goodness. I'm trying to think what else has been happening. I mean, truth be told, I have been a little bit distracted by baseball this week, and I wasn't expecting that. So that was an unexpected treat. Oh my gosh, my Phillies are going to the World Series. What?
Congratulations.
Thank you. By the time you hear this on Monday, hopefully it'll be 1-1. Who knows? I don't know. No expectations. This is just enjoying the ride.
I love that. And we all need that. It is quite a joy when a team that is your team, gets to the final. It's
Yeah.
exciting. So
And-
I'm glad that you have that. Philly deserves this.
And yes, the clerks of it all. We weren't even supposed to be here, and yet here we are.
And here you are.
No, they have.
I'm just gonna say, Dodgers. It's okay.
Oh, that was a shame. That was really a shame. So hopefully you can all join us. Apparently, the loyalties are falling similarly to when the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and everyone is siding with the
on the other
team.
side.
Yeah, everyone's siding with the team that's not the Astros. So we welcome you.
Go Philly.
Grab a soft pretzel, join us. We welcome everyone on the bandwagon.
I think we have other PR treats too.
We do have some other treats.
I think this profession is a treat because the reason that we deal with the tricks and the scaries and all of the things is because what a great life this job is. We have an awesome job. And
we do.
When I think sometimes about all of the wonderful things that we get to do and how we get to serve people, I completely understand why we all deal with it day in and day out. And there are days that are stressful. There are days that
are frustrating,
that make you want to pull the nuclear and go like on a rampage and let all the secrets out on Twitter. There are days. I don't know about you. I'll speak for myself, but there are days I just want to start writing the tell-all right now.
There are days I usually go in the other direction. Those are the days I have just fantasies of, I'm like, when I get older, I could just go to the diner midday and maybe I'll do a puzzle. And won't that be great?
Yeah.
But I think at the middle of all that, it's because we enjoy in the story, right? I know what lights me up is when something happens and it doesn't matter to what extent or what level. And I just think, you need to know about this. You need to know about this because it's going to make your life better. Yeah. Or isn't this good news? Doesn't that make you happy? Or, watch out for this. Be careful. We don't want anything bad to happen. That's how I come at these things of, how is someone else's story going to inspire you? How is someone else's product or offering going to make your life better? Or how can we look out for each other? And that's really at the core of why I do what I do. And thankfully, I think I'm good at it.
I think you can't be in this profession if you're not good at it. So salute to us. And we know intimately that solo PR pros are top in the profession. I mean, and let's face it, some jobs require, more right brain, others require more left brain. In some professions like ours, we get the benefit of being right-brained and left-brained. So it's really cool that we get to use so much of our skill set. We get to be creative.
Yep. Strategic
and analytical. And I just, it's a great, great job. So that is a treat.
That's our ultimate treat.
And it's one that doesn't cause cavities.
No, it doesn't cause cavities, but it's okay. You can reach for the chocolate while you... on occasion, finish your project and then maybe dangle a little treat. But it's funny. A couple of years ago, I was at an event of PR pros and someone was just saying that, they got a new job in-house somewhere. But prior to that, they were a solo practitioner. And she said, in the interview process, they saw that as a plus because they said, well, that shows us you get stuff done. If it's either only you or a small team, you know how to make things happen and complete projects. And I thought, what a great little thing to keep in my brain on those days where I'm not feeling all that. So we get it done. Yeah, so it is. It is a true treat.
That's a treat that people see us as, the go-tos for getting stuff done, getting it done efficiently. The trick is when they somehow undervalue what that really means to them financially.
Yes.
You'll have people out in the world that will look at some service that they need and say, well, we don't want to pay X, so let's hire a solo. We are, our rates probably are a little bit lower than, multinational agencies.
Right.
But when you're looking at a scope of work, our rates are not different, nor should they be. We are no less intelligent than that firm. And if you're looking at the same scope of work, you shouldn't expect that you're going to get this 50% discount because it's a smaller firm. If you're a full service firm and you're offering services, the scope of work is the scope of work. And so that is kind of a trick. And
agree.
I wish people would understand that when you're hiring a smaller firm, the reason that you're getting great value for your money is not just because of the experience and intelligence of the team, whether it's a one person, two or three, but it's also because we're efficient. But when you think about it, we don't work in silos.
Right.
So we get exposed to more things that connect to your business. We have the opportunity to direct our own professional development so we can develop skills that may not be typical in the PR sphere. So
yeah. And for the most part, we're seasoned because you can't really do this on your own if you haven't had a decent amount of experience and been through some things.
Although these days we have, we've seen people jump because younger generations don't see the barriers that existed in the past. And honestly, some of those barriers don't exist anymore.
Right.
It is a lot easier today to go out on your own.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you should do it without training and experience. And, number one, if you're thinking about making the leap into starting your own business, you need to be able to deliver on what you're promising.
Right. That's the key. Absolutely. But when it goes right, it is a pure treat. So, well, we hope that you have a fantastic Halloween. We hope it's not too scary. All right, I'll stop with the bad count impersonations. But we value that you choose to spend your time with us. And we hope that this has been inspiring and informative and all those good things. And until next time, thanks for listening to That's a Life.